once been a barn. She got her camera case from the mesh cargo hold of her SUV, set the alarm, and went inside. The barn was dark and smelled of old age, with rows of shelves, stacks of magazines, boxes spilling over with the cast-offs of cast-offs. Cheap as dirt, and just waiting for Dani to turn them all into celebrities. She spent the morning shooting doilies and oil cans, jars of buttons and headless action figures. Then, just as she decided to get back on the road, she spotted a dented metal Chinese checkers board sticking out from a box of misshapen chalkboard erasers. Just one more shot. She pushed away a moldy 9x12 envelope blocking her view. The envelope split open, revealing a tantalizing peek of photographs inside. Enlargements, years old, probably of some forgotten family vacation. Dani looked anyway. How could she not look? It was what she did. The first was a nest, half hidden among the weeds, and a duck, head tucked beneath its wing in sleep or protection. A black and white shot that told everything in one perfect moment. She felt tears well up. She blinked them away. It's just a duck, she told herself. But it was more than that. That one simple photo had something none of Dani's had. Ever. She recognized it right away. She didn't know what it was, but she knew she needed it if she was going to stay on top. She turned the photo over but found only stains, as if it had been sitting on a wet table. She looked at each photo, carefully turning each over before placing it to the side, as excitement and wonder grew inside her. A cactus standing like a sentinel in the desert. Maple syrup dripping from a tap into a wooden bucket. A nightgown wafting from a clothesline like a ghost. Like a spirit, like the soul of whoever had worn it last. A woman, standing on a rocky cliff overlooking the sea, a house several stories tall balanced on the earth behind her, as if a breeze could send them both over the edge. The woman, thin as a wraith, her hair gossamer fine, lifted her face to the sky as if she might take off and fly. For a moment, Dani flew with her. Then, an overwhelming sadness, or happiness, or maybe both, encompassed her. She turned it over, and on the back, Lawrence Sinclair, 1964, and a contact number. And she knew she had to find him, because he had something she lacked, something she had to get. As soon as she got back to her Lower East Side apartment, she Googled him and found Zip. Lawrence Sinclair had dropped out of sight decades ago, leaving a smattering of incredible photographs in galleries across the country and no forwarding anything. She closed her laptop. He might be dead, but she had to find out. The next day, she sent out a flurry of emails, made phone call after phone call. For the next few weeks, she scoured newspaper archives, knocked on doors, interviewed several prospective Lawrence Sinclairs. None of them had panned out so far. She was down to her last chance. And that was why she was driving down a rutted, barely recognizable car track somewhere in Rhode Island, wearing clothes she'd had on for 2 days and her heart racing like someone had spiked the milkshake she'd just had for lunch. She'd finally traced the contact number to a photography studio in the town of Old Murphy Beach. The studio had shut its doors decades before and was now a newly opened dollar store. The clerk there didn't remember it, but the guy at the laundry next door dropped words she wanted to hear. Used to be a Sinclair family about 1.5 miles down the road. She was down that road now, and it wasn't looking good.